Hey all, and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. In this video I'd like to show you the new gear which you can obtain with the new module, Module 20, New Sharandar. So generally this game goes in vertical progression, where when a new module comes out we get higher item level gear which is supposedly better than the current gear that we have. Well, let's actually go ahead and see if this is true for this new module. Are you able to obtain gear which is better than the gear which you can obtain from those tier 3 hunts within Avernus? That massive insane grind for that top tier gear? Has it now become worthless? Well, let's go ahead and see. Well, initially we first jump to the campaign, the New Sharandar campaign. We view it, and in here we can go to the store. And in the store we can see the new gear which we can purchase. First up, you can just see we can purchase some green shirt and pants along with some blue companion gear, none of which is going to have much value whatsoever, since green gear never has like a set bonus and blue companion gear doesn't have a second runestone slot. However, the item level on these is a little bit higher than those you could normally find within the game. For example, the shirt and pants, they're 25 item level higher than those shirt and pants we could obtain with the seals, these infernal forged ones, and the actual companion gear is there 125 item level higher than anything you could obtain within the game, the highest there was being 1100. However, this is not going to make or break anything. This is pretty mediocre trash gear, you could say. Moving on to the next tab, we actually have some purple gear, which could be competitive. Now there is a bug here where it's showing warlock gear here for me rather than extra paladin gear. But that aside, we can still see the basics of the stats and bonuses that they give. Now, disappointingly, these armor, you can look at it. The armor basically has the exact same bonuses as our Lion Guard gear. I'll just go ahead and equip it real quick. So here I have all of the Lion Guard gear. And when we go to the actual Sharandar gear, you can see it right here. And we can hover over it. You can see the equip bonus there is exactly the same for the chest piece, the headpiece, the gauntlets and the boots. Now this overall is very disappointing, and we can see that same gear here in the actual collections tab. Now with this gear having the exact same bonuses as our Lion Guard gear, does it make it worth it to run with? Well, looking at the item level of this gear, it's actually got the highest item level of anything within the game right now. The highest item level shirt and pants you can get from tier 3 hunts is 1325, and thus is only 25 item level lower than this current gear here. However, the highest item level gear you can get in game right now is only 1260, 10 more item level than this Lion Guard gear, and you can upgrade all of your hunt gear to have that 1260. But still, this new gear will have their 90 more item level than it. And does 90 more item level make up for it? Currently for DPS, ideally what you want to have in your headpiece, you would want that Whisperer's Hood of Quiet, where whenever you deal damage or heal your target for more than 10% of your maximum hit points in a single blow, your accuracy and your movement speed is increased. Your accuracy will go up there at 1.5% per stack, stacking up 5 times, getting 7.5% of this extra accuracy, making it so that whenever an enemy deflects your attacks, that reduction in damage is reduced, meaning you can deal more damage. And with our chest piece here, you would be running with the Bone Devil's Ribcage, because it has been changed so that now when you damage or heal your target for 10% of your maximum hit points, it will go ahead and give you 2.5% critical strike and 2.5% critical severity, stacking up to a maximum of 5 times, meaning you can get 12.5% of this critical strike and 12.5% of this critical severity, making it pretty much the best in slot chest piece that you could hope to obtain, meaning for sure, with it only being 90 item level shorter than this Forest Guardian gear, the equip bonus absolutely makes up for that loss in item level you would have. The reason I'm saying item level is very important, especially for a damage dealer, is because it directly impacts your base damage, this damage here. You can see your base damage is your total item level divided by 10, and then DPS get an extra 20%. So the higher item level you have, the more damage you will deal. Now it's divided by 10, so you will deal a modifier of 9 more damage with 90 more item level, and that's 9 multiplied by whatever bonuses you get. And if you have all of these stats capped out, that's about 6.5 modifier. So you would multiply this 6.5 then by your magnitude divided by 10, so that would be 6, and then you would go on to multiply that directly with this damage here. And with that only being 9 higher, that's very little with this item level, means it isn't really worth it, and you're better off with something with a higher equip bonus like that Bone Devil's Ribcage. Now of course with these bracers, these Lion Guard bracers were currently the best out there, or the blessed ones were, because they were 10 item level higher. They have the same bonus where they give you extra stacks of power. Will that still be good? Well, we'll have to see, because power now being capped at 90% means it's pretty easy to max out. Meaning that these stacks, since they're only temporary, it's probably a lot easier to just stack the rating of power and cap it. However, of course, you can go ahead and make your build so that you would rely on these. But there are other gauntlets out there which you could use instead. But you have to put into consideration that if you're going to use any gauntlets which have lower item level, it's going to directly impact your damage. And then looking finally at the boots. Yes, for DPS, you're definitely going to want to run with those stupid rusted iron leggings with that negative incoming healing. But luckily, everybody has a whole chunk of incoming healing now because this rating, and we generally won't have a negative incoming healing anymore, as you can see with me right now. So overall, this new gear, sure, it looks pretty fancy, but is it going to be actually good? Is it going to be better than running with the new hunt gear? No. But the gauntlets are going to be the new best gauntlets, because they're going to be the highest item level, which gives you that power. But of course you're going to have to adjust your build so that you can actually make use of that power. Otherwise you're better off running different gauntlets, let's say like the spiked defender van braces or the shielded defender van braces. However, that's not the only gear we got. We can switch to the next tab, and we have new gear which we can purchase with seals. So when you go ahead and just do those random queues, you'll be able to obtain these new seals, the Seals of the Wild. However, of course, you'll be capped weekly at only 400. So you'll be able to purchase this gear at most likely the normal costs, but it will take you some time. For newer players, this is definitely something you want to obtain to get that maximum item level, and with the shirt and pants you can get there 1300, which is there only 50 item level shorter than the highest item level shirt and pants you can get from tier 3 hunts. But the bonuses on these isn't that great at all. You can see there that the bonuses are pretty much just copy and paste, exactly the same as the Infernal Forge one. The shirts there giving action points. You can see this shirt there here, the Infernal Forge one, same one. And the pants there just giving you that movement speed. And this is exactly the same with the Infernal Forge ones, making these ones literally just a little bit better because they have a tiny bit higher item level. So yes, these will be the new best for those players who haven't managed to farm out the tier 3 hunts. And finally, it shows here in the collections just those green shirt and pants, pretty useless, and that blue companion gear, also pretty useless. However, of course, it will be handy for those of you who are newer players. Now finally, let's move on to the new artifact sets that we got. Looking in our artifact equipment here, and we can see we can obtain this new diamond set. Now this will most likely be obtained through the dungeon, Stars of the Fallen, so a lot of you guys will probably have a tough time completing that, those of you at least who are not on endgame yet. With that bonus, you can obtain a set where when you stand still, you will increase your damage and your awareness, making this pretty good for tanks and also for DPS. It's basically like a copy and paste of the Mad Mages set, where when you stand still, you would gain 5% more damage. However, with this set, it throws in that extra awareness. For endgame, this may be best since we might actually need that awareness for extra survivability, especially on a DPS, since bosses will now deal combat advantage damage all the time. Now, on our second set, we have the Fey Star set. Now, this set is overall pretty disappointing, where it will only give you extra power. Now, power being capped means a lot of us just have far too much of it and we don't know what to do with it, especially when you're running with a DPS character, because you have that forte stat which will give you that extra 50% of your forte stat in power percentage, meaning you can cap that out fairly easily. And capping a rating is also pretty easily done, especially since a lot of us just have excess in radiance and dominance insignias, etc. However, of course, we have an exchange for that, but not many of us do want to exchange anything for things being bound, so this set is really not going to be used. And that's pretty much it. We don't have any new weapons with this module, which is fair enough. Usually they do that. They do like a gear module, then they do like a weapons module. However, it seems module 19 was kind of an exception, but we'll see with this module. As of now, we've only gone ahead and unlocked milestone 1, as they're calling it, where we have this progression bar, and with the other milestones we'll probably have similar progression bars. On these it doesn't seem we can obtain gear, we can just obtain fashion items, but we'll have to wait and see. So the verdict is tier 3 hunt gear is pretty much going to stay the same as being the best, at least that's in regards to the Bone Devil's Ribcage and the Whisperer's Hood of Quiet. As for the other gear, it still remains with its similar set bonus, however things can still be adjusted. But as for newer players, yes, it's going to be a lot easier to get that higher item level gear, especially with just purchasing those ones for seals. And then if you can't be bothered grinding out the actual tier 3 hunt gear, you can always just go with the highest item level gear set with that new set from the newest dungeon. However, of course, it's probably still going to be capped out weekly, etc. So that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully I've presented this well, and if I did, consider leaving the video a like, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing. I will see you guys around. Goodbye for now.